and I think what I love so much about this song is that I think it set the tone for this entire album. So when I started this whole solo process, I knew that I wanted my sound to be California country, but I didn't know how I was going to execute that. And so finally, getting into the room with you guys on that particular day, I felt like after we wrote that, I was like, oh, okay, this sets the tone for what California country is to me.
Well, and I remember talking about that during the write, like you saying those exact words. And I feel like we talked about like 70s country a little bit and like
totally.
that sort of era.
It helped me to find what my sound is.
I knew you were working on a project and you were trying to kind of pull songs together, but I love that this ended up being like the jumping off point.
It totally was.
And I remember we talked about like the space in lyric and the space and like movement and like time for a lyric to like set in. And I feel that's kind of how we got on that sort of rhythmic, you walk in the room, and just let it sit.
Space, yeah.
Instead of filling the space up with words and,
Yes. And that song just like captures such a good feeling. I wasn't even a full year away from the band, but I just I'd always struggled writing love songs. And that was the first love song that I had written that I was like, okay, like I can roll with this. Like this is cool. Like I can do this. And it was the first love song that I wrote that just didn't feel cheesy. The structure of it is unlike any other song on this record or any other song that I've written for that matter. I mean, it's literally verse, chorus, verse, chorus.
Mm-hmm. I've never done that before in a song either.
Yeah.
That is the classic country formula. I have no idea why we chose to go that route, but that's like like Willie Nelson, George Jones, like.
Yes.
And now I listen to that song and I'm like, oh, I love the fact that it doesn't go back into a verse because it keeps me in it as a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it keeps me engaged.
You don't miss it, honestly, because the song length is like 3 minutes and something. Like it's still like, it's not a short song.
Yeah.
It feels complete.
It feels complete.
And I think the reason why we went that route probably was unintentional. I think it just felt good and we were like, yeah, it's done. There's nothing else to be said. You cover a lot of ground.
If you remember pushing for we've started, we put space in this, we've committed to put space in it, like let's just let it be that because it's so cool and so different.
In the bridge section or instrumental, that break, the long break in between verses, which is also very different. Davis came up with just the hookiest little guitar solo that just feels so good. What's funny was we had in the studio decided to try some other stuff with Daniel Donato on that part. And Daniel's an amazing guitar player, like just
absolutely amazing,
epic guitar player. But nothing ever felt quite the same. I don't know if it was a case of demoitis or what, but nothing ever felt quite the same as that Initial Instinct simple guitar solo that you did, Davis. And that's why we decided to keep that on this record. And I think that's actually the same one from the demo, right? Or did you replay?
Yeah, I can't. No, like that. It's kind of ridiculous that I have a guitar solo on this record, especially with Daniel playing.
I love that you have a guitar solo on this record.
It's the only one that I have. So it was like, no, if we love it, we're not gonna try to replay this because it would take a long time and a lot of probably smooth editing or something to make it all work.
and also I don't know if people know this, but that vocal on the album is my demo vocal.
No way.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
That was the original demo vocal because we cut other vocals on it and I just didn't love them as much as my original demo vocal. So we were like, let's just send those to mix.
Autumn, you're also singing on this.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
That's like my life goal is to write, and then people let me sing background vocals, which you know this.
But you crush.
Yeah.
You crush.
So good.
Gosh,
I'll do that anytime, so just let me know when you need.
Well,
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
we get back together, we can do this again.
You know, we weren't writing songs that felt like singles, which I guess strategically isn't always the best thing, but Rachel knew what she wanted to make, and it was like, I wanted to make that same record. And so it was like, well, there's two of the important decision makers of any record, like agreeing that like, we're just going to like hang in this lane and like support ourselves through this.
The whole record just sounds like a complete thought. It sounds like what do you want a record to sound like? It's not like you just took like 10 of your best songs and threw them on a record. It's like, no, you created like a whole story, and it's so cool that I don't know. I'm just really proud I got a little nugget in there.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, that's really special.